Now, I have used this on mature skin. This is a fairly new foundation. I have used it on mature skin clients and they have absolutely loved it. We're back with another educational beauty video and highly anticipated video by you guys. I know that you've been asking for this and I decided to dedicate an entire video to this. The best foundations for mature skin. This is the ultimate list, so make sure you don't go anywhere. And if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And if you like reels, unboxing, want to see what I get up to behind the scenes when I'm not filming for YouTube, then you can also catch me on Instagram. Now let's get started with the video. This is something I know you guys have been wanting. The best foundations for mature skin. Now we're going to get started with the first one. There's no specific order in terms of like what's the best, what's the worst, or like out of the bunch of them which is the best. I am just going to be showing you in no particular order what the best foundations for mature skin are. And I'm going to explain to you the finish it gives and how easy it is to blend and why it's good for mature skin. Now before we start that, I just very quickly want to let you know the reason I know these are the best foundations for mature skin is because I have worked on so many, like hundreds and hundreds of different clients over the years as a professional makeup artist, and some of my clients have mature skin and it could range from, you know, just not very mature, like just fine lines, you know, they've got generally very good elasticity in their skin, or it could range up to mature skin which is very kind of crepey, very like deep fine lines, or deep lines in general, deep wrinkles, dryness in the skin too. So I really want to show you what, from my experience, these 5 foundations are the foundations that I feel I use the most on mature skin. So it isn't a case of these are the 5 foundations within every single foundation available. I'm telling you the 5 foundations out of the range that I use. There are loads of different brands that I use, but out of all of them, these are the ones that I feel are the best or work the best on mature skin. Now, mature skin is something I really wanted to make a dedicated video for. I know that I recently did have a video which was foundations for every skin type. To me, skin type is something like the obvious ones, no matter what your age: oiliness, dryness, large pores, combination, you know, normal. But this is something that is based on age. You know, this is not just about skin type. This is something which I feel requires a video totally dedicated to it. So let's start off. Now, the first foundation that I'm going to talk to you about gives a kind of like light to medium finish. It is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. Now, this is a foundation which is great for your skin to still look like skin. It is a very light coverage, not ultra light, like you still get really good, like a good even finish to your skin, like it evens out your skin tone. I do feel like you can build on this. That's the great thing. But what I really do love about this foundation, it gives a natural finish to the skin, like I've mentioned, but it is buildable. Like you can keep building it up to create that more kind of full coverage look. Now, it works so well on mature skin, because with mature skin, I know that you could have mature skin and you could have any type of skin type. Like you could still have oiliness in the skin, but majority of the time we're dealing with dry skin or dehydrated skin. It could be that you just don't have as much hydration in the skin. It could mean that internally you're just not, you know, taking in enough water. There's so many different mature skin types out there. So for me, I'm just giving you an overall kind of list of products that I feel work well on mature skin. But I feel like with this foundation, it kind of gives you that healthy glow. So I feel like your skin looks healthier than what it did before. What I do love is that even though this isn't specifically for mature skin, it's for anyone, but it does have great undertones, and like you do have such a wide range of shade variety available. So I don't think it's going to be difficult for you to find your shade. Now, it is a very fluid foundation, so it kind of literally will just drip down. So you do need to shake it and apply it with either a brush or a sponge. I personally like to apply this with a sponge when I'm working on clients. I feel like when I'm working on mature skin and I use a brush, more so I'd say with all of these foundations, I feel like it just becomes very streaky. I feel like if I'm using a sponge, I can really press it into the skin, and with mature skin, it really kind of holds onto the product really well. So that is a great thing that works for mature skin. Like the great thing is that your skin holds onto your product well. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't kind of prime beforehand if you need it. If you need it, then go ahead and do it, but you do need to make sure you do apply the right skincare too. So that is basically my first foundation. Now, moving on to my second foundation, this is the Hourglass Soft Glow Foundation. Now, this is a foundation which I love for all skin age groups, like all age skin types as well. It is a foundation which I think is great. Now, I have used this on mature skin. This is a fairly new foundation. I have used it on mature skin clients and they have absolutely loved it. Now, in terms of like the shade range, there is a decent shade range available. I do feel like you'd have to have, you know, make sure that you do go in and have a look at the products first and really kind of swatch them on your skin first. This foundation is something that I feel gives the most flawless finish. Like whenever I'm working on mature skin and I use this foundation, I kind of feel like it's the perfect skin type for this foundation. This foundation looks great on like any age group anyway, but when I'm putting this on mature skin, I feel like, okay, you are literally the perfect skin age type. You make this foundation look even better. So this is a foundation which I feel that works perfectly for mature skin. I do feel like it blends in very easily. It doesn't look cakey at all. It gives that really nice glow and yet it stays put all day. That's another foundation which I think is great to apply on mature skin. You can use this with a brush as well if you want to, but I do feel like a sponge always works better for me when I'm working on mature skin. Now, if you are working on, like, not that you are a makeup artist, whoever you are watching, but if you are working on yourself or you're working on someone who has mature skin and they have very deep lines, then you really want to focus on kind of maneuvering the skin around very well with the foundation. Don't just go over the skin. You want to get into those fine lines as well. You want to get into those fine lines. You want to get into those deep wrinkle. I don't know why that did not come out of my mouth properly. You want to get into those wrinkles properly so that you can then kind of take away any excess, because even though you might have a deep set line and you think, I'm going to go over it because who is ever going to see what's in that line, you will still see it. With facial movements, you will still see that there's something missing. You also want to make sure that you take the excess out as well. So these are all tips that I could give you, which could be another video, but you know, I would suggest using this with a sponge. It's a lot more easier to kind of get into the lines and move around the face a lot fluidly, and it kind of blends in really, really well too. Next up is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I know that some of you may think, right, okay, this is a full coverage foundation. How is this going to work on mature skin? Isn't this going to look cakey? Now, the reason I love this foundation so much is that personally, I don't see it as a full coverage foundation. It is so fluid, and I feel like you can create a really nice, either ultra light coverage or full coverage as well. So you could apply this with a dry sponge and it's going to give you that full coverage look, but it still seems to look natural. But I have used this on so many of my mature clients, like mature skin clients. It looks stunning on the skin and they always end up loving it too. Now, what I tend to do when I'm using this is I actually apply this with a sponge, but I do make sure I heavily moisturize the skin first. Now, that isn't going to be the case if you have mature skin and you feel like you get oiliness throughout the day. Then, you know, don't over moisturize. Then you might be okay just without over moisturizing, just to moisturize however much you usually do, or stick to a lotion. But I feel that this works great when I'm kind of applying a little bit more of a richer moisturizer underneath. If I apply a rich moisturizer and then I go in with this, or I might have a primer on first, depending on what the skin is like and if I need it, then I feel like this just becomes the most fluid foundation and so easy to blend and gives you a natural finish. Don't forget, I would say when it comes to mature skin, less is more. I don't always believe that for every age group, because I don't think it's for age group, to be honest. I think it's down to your skin type and how your skin looks and how it feels, and not just that, but how you look, because someone may be able to take more makeup than someone else. But when I work on mature skin, I always feel like less is always more with mature skin clients. That's just something that I feel when I've worked on mature skin clients, that I just feel like always start small and then you can always build it. But if you go in straight away with a lot, it's so much harder to make it look more natural. So just remember that. Start small and then you can build it. Now, that's the other foundation that I would highly recommend. I do feel like you can also build that up. By the way, I feel like you can very easily build it up wherever you need to. And another thing I will say is when I'm working on mature skin clients, I do feel like I don't need as much concealer as when I'm working on a kind of more younger client, I do feel like I need less concealer, which is great. I don't want you, if you have mature skin, I don't want you to think that, okay, now I've got to work extra hard to try and like cover up whatever you're trying to cover up. You really don't. Like, you've got to look at the plus side of it, because otherwise you'll drive yourself insane, firstly. But secondly, you genuinely have to look at what are you able to do that someone with younger skin can't do. I feel that when genuinely from an outside perspective, when I am working on someone who has mature skin, I genuinely feel like I said the word genuinely so many times there, so I'm just letting you know that I'm well aware of it. But I feel that I don't have to use concealer as much. I feel like I can go in with foundation and then I can decide how much concealer I need, because I don't necessarily underpaint with all of my mature clients, because I feel like it depends on how mature their skin is, firstly. If they have very deep set lines, I don't really want to be putting too much concealer on, because that's a very thick, cakey kind of texture, you know? I want to keep everything pretty light, so I feel like I can kind of reverse it a little bit with them and not have to use as much concealer. Or I will go in with an extremely fluid concealer, very light coverage concealer, and then go in and like underpaint with that. Now, I feel that if you have mature skin, you can apply a thin layer of foundation and then you can build it up and then you can do the rest of your face. Because one thing I've realized is working with mature skin clients is that they feel that when they are doing their own makeup, they do their base, they do everything, and they feel like, okay, it's going to look fine once I finish the face. Then they finish the eyes and they finish the lips, they finish the bronzer, and then by the end of it, they feel like complete cake face. It will be more obvious because you've got more lines in the face, you know, it just ends up looking more obvious. And that seems to be a struggle that I hear quite often from mature skin clients. So what I really want you to try, it might not work for you, but I do feel that you're not going to know unless you try it. And quite a few of my clients have said that it has worked for them. Put your base on first. Do your base with one layer, right? Don't completely finish it, just do the one layer and then you carry on with the rest of your face, right? As in your eyes, and then if you want to do your lips, you can. And then I want you to go back and decide if you want to apply more foundation. So don't finish off the entire foundation process first. I want you to just apply one layer of your foundation, then do your eyes, and then decide, right, okay, now how much more can I get away with? How much more do I think I need? If you just work backwards a little bit, it should help you to kind of understand how much you need. And then once you've figured that out, you can then go back to kind of applying your foundation, finishing it with the right amount that you need now, because now you know that because you tried it in a different way, and then carry on with the rest of your look. So just try it. I'm just hoping it works for you. You never know. Okay, moving on to the next foundation. The next foundation is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Now, I know you've probably heard of this foundation. It's popular with majority of age groups, and I do love the foundation. I don't think it is the best foundation out there, but I do think it works great on mature skin. I actually think this works better on mature skin than it does on a younger skin type. The reason being is because it gives great coverage. It still gives you that luminosity to the skin, which is something that I think is important when you have mature skin. You don't want to go for that ultra matte finish because you want to take, you want that glow in your skin, but you also don't want any kind of dryness in your skin, like in your finish of your foundation, to end up enhancing any kind of fine lines or deep set lines. So if you suffer from a lot of deep set lines, I would suggest trying to go more for a kind of at least a semi matte if you don't, if you don't want to go super glowy, but go for a little bit of a glow, because it's just going to make your skin look more healthy. It's going to kind of end up making you look slightly younger as well, in terms of like the health of your skin. Not overall, I'm not talking about that, but I mean the health of your skin. It will make your skin look a little younger. So this foundation I think is great. I don't think you need to build it that much. I feel like one layer is more than enough. And again, I would say all of these foundations I would prefer using a sponge, a damp sponge on my mature skin clients. So this is the next foundation. I feel like it's a good shade range. I feel like it lasts really well on the skin. I do feel like you can almost put it on and just let it set itself a little bit, like it doesn't kind of stay too glossy looking, if that makes sense. Moving on to the next one, this is the Dior Forever Skin Glow. This is a foundation which I think is absolutely amazing. It works so well on mature skin, and it definitely lasts all day by the way. This is probably the one out of all of these foundations that I would say lasts the longest without having to pack on powder or anything. I think the coverage is amazing for this. The shade range is pretty good, and it also has SPF 20, which is great. Now, what I do love about this is it does have kind of floral skincare in there. Now, don't be afraid of the word floral, because trust me, I was when I first heard it. But I genuinely feel like this is good for the skin. You're getting that hydration. It's making sure your skin doesn't dry out. It kind of ticks all the boxes when it comes to mature skin. It also does give you that very natural glow. So it's not like shiny, it's not like glossy, but it just doesn't look so matte when you first, it doesn't dry up, if you see what I mean. It doesn't tighten your skin. So this is perfect for mature skin. And I know I said that I didn't have any, like, this wasn't a, you know, top 5 in terms of which is at the #1 spot, but maybe I'll just add it as a bonus feature. Out of all of these, I would say this is the best one. Out of all of these, they are all amazing, but this for me ticks all the boxes when I'm working on mature skin clients, because the reason being is because if you want it to last for hours and hours, this is a 24-hour wear. It also gives you great skincare infused into the foundation, so that's another plus point. It gives you great coverage. I feel like that ticks all the boxes for me. But if you are not fussed about those things and you want something which is just going to look ultra natural, because this gives you more of a medium coverage, it's not like ultra natural. If you want more of that kind of really natural look, I would go more with the Makeup Forever and the Dior, and then in the middle I would say the Hourglass and the Giorgio Armani. If you want that really nice kind of soft focus look, then if you want more coverage and you really want it to last and just basically be able to put it on and leave it for hours and hours, then I would suggest the Dior Skin Glow, because it really does tick all the boxes. I really do hope that this has kind of answered your questions. If there is anything else you guys want to know, then just let me know in the comments box below. I will definitely read them. I always like your comments, and I try my best to answer your questions through videos. So I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would really love you to show your support on the super thanks. It's a little heart with a $sign in the middle, and that just is a little way for you to help me kind of keep this channel running, upgrading the content and just giving you more content and being able to invest more into this channel for you guys. Because as you know, everything I give away is completely free. I don't hold back. I give everything away, and I really would love if you could support me too. That would mean the world to me. So if you do want to get any of these foundations, just head over to my description below and all the links will be there. Other than that, I'm sending you loads of love and wish you the best day ever. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments box below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.